Welcome to the What's Up Verdict podcast, where we fashion ourselves cinematic judge and jury. My name is JJ Crowder. I'm here with my co-host Matt Hinder.
Better Red than Dead.
And Alec Burgess.
Let's get it.
We appreciate you tuning in. Go ahead and hit that follow, subscribe, like, bell notification buttons. Tell a friend about us. Tell a family member about us. Tell a CIA agent about us, but we have Alec on the podcast, so don't do that. A former CIA agent, maybe?
Yeah, they're pretty cool.
Please don't tell any Irish. I was going to say what group, but then I thought we're already probably in hot water with YouTube as it is.
Just add it to the group.
Yeah, if you have an Irish friend, tell them about us because I want them to come hang out and talk to me because
wink.
I love that accent. That it's a lot of fun. But yeah, we're here in week 3 of patriotic films in the month of July. Moving on to one of the, at the time, the highest grossing actor of all time when this was coming out, I believe, with the Patriot Games. It was released June 5th, 1992. It was written by Tom Clancy-ish, and it was adapted by W. Peter Iliff and directed by Philip Noyce. It stars Harrison Ford, Sean Bean, Ann Archer, Patrick Bergen, Thora Birch, James Fox, Samuel L. Jackson, Polly Walker, and Richard Harris. And James Earl Jones. Don't forget about him. It is about CIA analyst Jack Ryan, who interferes with an IRA assassination. A renegade faction targets him and his family for revenge. I mean, it's an accurate synopsis, but it's a little choppy there. There's a little more to that, but
yeah, it doesn't do it justice.
Yeah. Anyway, this is my movie. I always show my age. So when we pick movies,
just a bit,
because I grew up watching Harrison Ford as Jack Ryan. And don't get me wrong, I like the newest iteration with John Krasinski. I thought he did a great job as Jack Ryan, but most of the Jack Ryans, except for Harrison Ford, not a huge fan. But I loved, Patriot Games and Clear and Present Danger and all that stuff. So really enjoy this movie. And looking forward to talking about it. I have not watched. I will preface this by saying this is the first time I've watched Patriot Games it's got to be like 15 years. So it's been a very long time since I've watched it.
Wow, surprises me. Why?
It just hasn't been on the radar. I don't know.
Code for not a good movie?
No,
that's what I heard.
Yeah. No, it's not. But I will say that I look at this film different than I thought I did now. Having watched it this time, I'll just be straight up. It didn't hold up for me as well as I thought that it would. So, I had a few, what the fuck moments that I was I don't remember it being that way. And I don't know if I should chalk that up to the podcast like we've talked about before, where I watch movies differently now than I used to, or if it's just a thing where this movie in 92 felt much better.
Do you guys watch movies differently? I think just because we watch, it's not to say I watch so many more movies. I probably still watch the same whatever I watch, but I have to intentionally watch some things. And there are times, where you're already mad about something you're going to watch, aka usually Alex picks, sometimes once in Blue Moon JJ's picks, or so you get a predisposition or something. But a lot of times it's just, I don't know. You just man, I got to watch this thing and cram it in. But a lot of times you want to be keep an open mind. So I don't know if I feel like I watch things differently, but sometimes I have to try and remove the judgment that I've already given to Alec movie for sure. That's a real battle I have.
No, you're poor thing.
I do watch movies very differently because of the podcast. Especially ones that we watch for the podcast. If I go watch a movie just to watch a movie, then I don't. But if I'm watching it for the podcast, I'm more, I don't want to say nitpicky, but I critique more. I look for things that I'm that's a little wonky or that's a little weird. So I have a different lens on when I'm watching for the podcast.
I think I'm just quicker to pick up on if I'm enjoying the vibe or I'm not pretty maybe that's probably what's happening over the past 5 years is I'm much quicker to make the call than I would be before. And I'm like, oh man, like this is either amazing or like, damn it, I have another hour or not even an hour and a half. Usually sometimes I'm saying like I have another 2 hours and 20 minutes of this movie to go or whatever. And you're like,
Man of the people right there.
That's right.
I'm
Man of
trying
the
to
people.
save people. That's why they listen and watch it. This is not one of those movies, but I think that's probably what happens to me more. Sometimes it's like watcher or like reviewer watcher fatigue that creeps in.
Yeah.
Anyways.
So had you guys seen this movie before?
Not all the way through in one sitting. I'd
Yeah.
seen all of it, just not at one time.
Yeah.
I thought I had seen this movie all the way through. I guess maybe I have, but it'd been so disjointed or so long because I definitely remembered a lot of this movie, but the beginning I remembered less than the end. Definitely remember more of the end in the house. So I'm not exactly sure, but I remember some of it.
Yeah. I just didn't know because like some people had, some people hadn't. It's one of those things.
There's
where...
another one that he's in that I don't know if it's a Jack Ryan. Oh, and I should have looked the name up of it, but he did like a bunch of these movies that were somewhat similar, and that one, and I need to look up what it was, but that's what I thought we were gonna watch. I was like, oh, I've seen that like 3 or 4 times, and I'm gonna have to figure out what that was.
Was it Clear and Present Danger?
Oh, that.
I mean, that is a
Jack Ryan.
Jack Ryan. It's a follow up to this one.
No, yeah, it's a good question. I don't think it was because I know it's a follow up. I don't think it was that one.
Yeah, because I think he only did the 2 as Jack Ryan.
Yeah.
But then he had like Presumed Innocent that was around it, and then he had The Fugitive.
Oh, it's The Fugitive. That's it.
Yeah. And it was the one-armed man. Like that was, I remember. Yeah.
That's the one that that's what, and that movie's great. I'll have to watch that again. I like that movie, but that's the one that, and the other one you said right before that, I'd seen those 2 a lot more. So it was, they're all like kind of like similar-ish vibes. And then he's also the Air Force One. I knew this wasn't that, but even then I'm like, oh, just kind of like, together.
The early to mid 90s for Harrison Ford there was a lot, but again at the time like he was raking in the money from Hollywood because
he must have been because
he was I'm pretty sure for like a decade or more he was the highest grossing actor period for like because he just was killing it with all the movies. But yeah, this one, so Clear, I actually like Clear and Present Danger better than this movie, but this one fit the theme a little better than Clear and Present Danger. So the theme's a little different in that movie. So that's why I went with this one because of the month. But I'll have to put Clear and Present Danger on there sometime. Well, maybe we'll do like a whole Harrison Ford month or something. A month of 5 movies.
Yeah, once we talked about going and doing actor months, which he's clearly an easy one to pick. Yeah,
we should because he's got some good ones that most people don't think of. But anyway, yeah, this movie. Oh man, I was watching it going, oh yeah. At first I was getting into it. I was like, yeah, that opening scene. And then I was like, this movie's got some pacing issues. Like, and I think I never really paid attention to it because the one thing that is static throughout all Harrison Ford's movies, especially at this time frame, is that Harrison Ford knocks it out of the park. Like the guy is just a fucking great actor. And if I get more impressed with him when I watch like interviews and you can see how uncomfortable he is with fame, but he's so good at what he does when he's on camera. Even today, like if you watch, like as an old ass man, like almost 90 fucking years old. I don't think he's that old, but he's 80 at least. Like he plays in a Marvel movie. He's best part of a Captain America movie. He's the best part of some goofy comedy show on Apple TV. He's like, he just steals the camera in the scene and everything. And so he carries me through this movie, but it had some serious pacing issues that I didn't remember when I was younger and watching this. Like, I was like, man, this movie's dragging on. And I don't get me wrong, there's some great scenes and some dialogue and there's a lot of intrigue in the spot, but there's some pieces where I'm like, wow, do we have to have another conversation about the base that they're hiding out getting trained in Africa? Like, Jesus, just go blow it up already. Like, Fuck.
So I agree with you, but I think the problem stems from the source material. Because Jack Ryan
for sure
is an analyst,
Yep.
right? And you cast Harrison Ford, and this is the problem with Jack Ryan just in general. Because I've read some of the Jack Ryan books, and they're phenomenal. They're great books, great story, phenomenal kind of way to write a character. But every single time they cast someone, it's like action star, action star, action star, action star. Even John Krasinski. And so you have Harrison Ford coming in, right? Especially at this time, he's coming off of, it's a little ways away, but the fame never left him. Han Solo, Indiana Jones.
Yep.
And the source material for Jack Ryan is much more cerebral. It's much more intellectual. He's, a thinker. And so, I think it's a miscasting and then a misunderstanding what your story is, because the expectation there is, ooh, Harrison Ford, nonstop explosions.
Yeah.
And, all this, jumping and swinging and, running through city, just chases high speed. And that's not really what the source material is. And so then it's like you toss between this battle, because Tom Clancy was involved, right? Or as involved as they let him be. And so you have this battle going back and forth what the material is. And I think this kind of just character, Jack Ryan, needs more love in general. But I would like them to take a different approach and maybe do like an Oscar Isaac kind of feel with it. Or, figure out some way and get someone who's really into it to be like commit to actually telling the full story, because they switched who's playing Jack Ryan so much that, like, for the longest time I had no idea this was a sequel to The Hunt for Red October. Like, where the fuck did that come from? Yeah. And so it's like that. There's so much that you could do with this if you have the right pieces in place. But I think the pacing, for me anyway, it stemmed from the fact that it's like, you're trying to put a square peg into a round hole and call it good.
Yeah.
And it just doesn't fit.
It's a good call out.
To add to that, I mean, let's just call it what it is. I'm sure I'm the biggest Harrison. Well, maybe I'm not the biggest Harrison Ford fan, but I feel like I am on this podcast. I mean, my favorite.
You are.
It's not. I can't even call it a trilogy anymore. But the OG Indiana Jones movies doesn't get any better than that for me. Like, they're just perfect, and they're perfect because of Harrison Ford. And so in this movie, until like really the end, like halfway through the house scene, and then when they get on the boat, I was like, okay, like, yeah, this is what you expected when you signed him up. But before that, he's like a dumbed down, boring version. I knew it wasn't bad acting. He's a great actor, but I was like, he just feels deadpan, monotone, kind of one note, because that's more of what an analyst is. So it's not that I was like bored, not the right word, but I just knew there was more there. And it's like they kind of caged him. And so, like, obviously Sean Penn and the other side, there was some compelling people and a story within a story for the villains and what was happening there. But it got lost to me because anytime they switched back to Jack Ryan, Harrison Ford, I was just like, oh, okay. Like Alec was saying, like another one of these like semi-research scenes. Let's look through a microscope at another picture. Like, hey, do you really have a confidence? You're like, dude, this is Harrison freaking Ford. He's just going to go punch someone, and it's going to be the loudest punch you've ever heard on this globe. And that's kind of like, this movie just, it took itself, for me, almost too seriously, to the point where it caused me to have more disinterest than I really wanted. It was still an interesting story, but it just left me wanting a little bit more from someone I knew that had it, but couldn't do that because of what Alex said, because that's not who this guy is. And so these other movies that we rattled off towards the beginning, that I was like, oh, this movie fits right into those other ones. Those other movies, like when freaking Air Force One, you're like, this is the president. Like, he's out here banging OG, like, bad guy, like, or like, and or the Fugitive, where he's a doctor, but he's out here like rolling around with like assassin type people and pharmaceutical company doing all that. Far more entertaining. And I don't know, like, that's just where I struggled with this movie. And that's where, because the other, like, the villains were interesting, the story was interesting, it just, it kind of crawled for me.
Yeah. No, yeah. And it's a good call out. Like, I hadn't really thought like I know Jack Ryan's an analyst. Like I've read the books. The books, to your point, Alec, are absolutely phenomenal. If you haven't read them, you should read them.
Clearly, because there's like how many now? Like,
yeah. Well, he's got quite a few. I mean, he eventually becomes the president. There's a spoiler alert. Like director of the CIA, president of the United States. Like the guy's like he's at the center of most of Tom Clancy's stories by the time he's done. But anyway, like, but the fact that he is an analyst and he's a brain, he's not like he gets stuck in these positions. And he was a Marine, like he does have the military experience and the training, and so he can do those things, but he doesn't prefer it. And that's why I think I liked John Krasinski's version, and at least in the first season, because it was a lot of the analytic pieces of it, and he's put into this place he doesn't want to be. It gets a little wonky after that, but in this case, I'm with you. I mean, I'm glad it wasn't Alec Baldwin because God, that was terrible. But at the same time, and especially the way this movie starts off, it's an action scene. Like you see his training, and so you're like, oh, this is what I'm in for, right? And that in the first 20 minutes, I'm like, I remember, I love this movie. And then I went, oh fuck, he's an analyst. He's back at the CIA, like trying to figure this shit out. Like it's like, God damn it. Now and then it hit me different. Like I was like, okay, it's a little slow. And then it takes a minute. And then I think Sean Bean, as much as I love Sean Bean, like he doesn't play this character as well as I'd like for it to. Like he's unhinged, obviously, right? Like the loss of his brother makes him even crazier than he already was. But like just the relentless, unwavering, like rigid, fuck everything up to get to Jack Ryan piece, like got annoying to me this watch around. I was like, Jesus. I was like, I want to see more of the other guy because he's like calculated and thinking things through, and he has a plan. And Sean Bean's character just keeps fucking shit up trying to get revenge. And so I was like, the villains weren't as interesting to me as I wanted them to be, just because I got annoyed by how unreasonable he was.
I liked it because it felt more realistic of what it could be in real life, because someone would have that passion and it could screw it up, and those people usually are unhinged. And I don't know, I like the dichotomy of a cold-blooded mastermind versus the hothead that gets the job done but radically spins off. That worked for me, but I think it also worked because pretty much all the scenes they were in were the most interesting scenes, so that probably was a lot of it.
It's fair.
I don't like the unhinged but still within the box. That is common with this type of movie from the early 90s. Is like it just popped in my head when you guys were talking about it. Even though he's young, I would have loved to see a little bit of Sean Bean act more like I think it was Mel Gibson's character in Expendables 3.
Oh yeah.
One of those where it's just guns out, confidence blazing, fuck shit up, I'm blowing everything up kind of thing, where you have this unhinged and almost like nobody knows what he's gonna do next. Yeah. Not the IRA, not anybody else, not the CIA. There's no clue, there's no way to predict this, because it feels like I agree with Matt on some points, but it feels like the unhinged is just in the box. Right? Yeah. So you're still bound by these, moral or ethical code or this
until he kills
parameters.
Him,
until the very end.
Yeah. No, but I tend to agree with you overall. The more we talk about it, the more I'm thinking back to when I watched it. Yeah, I wanted a little bit more. And you knew they had the actor that could do it. It just wasn't the character to give it to you.
I think hearing you talk about it in that way, Alec, I think I would have enjoyed maybe a two-prong villain instead of like you said, this really smart genius with the lady that's smart, and they're doing this like calculated, working the angles. And then when he doesn't when the revenge plot fails the first time, he loses it and goes off on his own, right? And because the other guy won't let him, he tries to tell him you can't do it. And he goes,
spins out.
Then all of a sudden you've got two angles you got to worry about, and so it's like which one's going to get where first. And then it would make more sense to me, like the two villains can battle each other to some level because they're getting in each other's way, and then like that would have made a little more sense. And because I didn't really pick up on the whole unhinged but controlled. I don't love that, and that really hit it on the head. What bothered me, it's like you let him control you up until the very end. Like if you're that off your rocker, like you're not letting him, Like, yeah, go get your training from him, but then sneak out in the middle of the night, right? And that's how you survive the attack. Like, anyway, like that thing that, but yeah, that could have been an interesting rewrite. But I think also, to your point, I think there was some being put in a box because of the source material, because it does follow that source material decently well, at least from the villain perspective and how they get there. The difference in the book, to me, if I remember right, it's been a minute since I've read it, is that there is some understanding of the relationship between the mastermind guy of the IRA, the offshoot of the IRA, and Sean Bean's character, that there's a reason why he stays up until the very end, right? Like, I don't remember what the connection was, but the books give you more details. So I didn't have that payoff as to the loyalty to this guy in the movie, not as much anyway. So would have been an interesting take to change up the material a little bit. But great acting across the board. Like, there's some massive actors in this. Like, I love James Earl Jones as Greer. It's great. I love, so many. I love that line where he walks in and he's just so smug about the fact that he's coming back. Like, it's like, oh, yeah, okay, and then just walks out. Like, it's great. It's good stuff.
I think the other thing, because I hadn't read the book, and I think I'd seen enough of this that I knew it was who was the guy that turned on him it wasn't the butler. Well, I can't remember the guy's position. He was like the driver, or
he's like the house manager, right? Like,
the
chief of staff, or
something like that. And it didn't, because you knew it was someone close, like you could deduct that. And I don't know if they could have made the twist a little bit better or more shocking or something, because when they're in the house and you see he's going down, then he has to pull out his gun, and you're like, okay, yeah, that feels about right. Like, who else could it have been? I feel like that could have landed better. Like, other movies, you want to be like, whoa, like, okay, like who the hell was that? Or at least just have a cooler, like, coming out scene or something. It just kind of felt abrupt, like, oh, that's happening right now. Like, maybe that was a little bit more important because this is why they're kind of in this position. But I don't know. I remember that's kind of one of the thoughts I had too.
Yeah. I think the book does play that out much better, if I remember right. But again, they have more time. I will say that the other thing that I noticed in this movie, and this probably goes a little bit to what you're talking about, Mattson, is that it feels like Alec's favorite explanation of, we're making this awesome-ass movie. Fuck, we're running out of money and time. Let's hurry up and make this shit go. And then, like, because once they get to the house party, like, it's like someone stomped on the fucking gas, and you're like,
Monty Pythoned it.
Yeah, like, zzz, and then like, whoa, shit, we're on boats and fucking swinging goddamn 20-pound like anchors like they're 5 pounds. Like,
is the security team that's around the house that incompetent where they didn't check the coastline? And there's just when did those boats get there? They're like, and they didn't hear them. They didn't like that. Just felt stupid. Like, wow, you guys just must suck balls and like deserve to die.
Hey man, they had some good training in Africa.
Yeah, okay. They were training on sand, not boats.
Yeah, exactly. I will say that one thing that has always bothered me about this movie from the time I was a kid till today, or yesterday when I watched it again, the way Sean Bean swings that anchor in that boat, like,
yeah.
I know that's a lighter weight anchor, but anybody that's been on a boat, fucking boat anchors are not that light, and he's swinging that thing like a fucking baseball bat. And I'm like,
yeah,
it doesn't work that way, dude. You'd swing that shit and your whole body'd go fucking flying if you miss, because that thing, they weigh at least 15, 20 pounds. Even the light versions, like, get the fuck out of here. I laughed at that. But Sean Bean does keep up his legacy of just wild ass deaths in this movie. Good old Sean Bean, always dying. Anchor to the back. It's good
what a way
stuff.
to go.
Yeah, he's got some crazy ones. But yeah, the end of this movie goes like fucking nuclear speed. Like, zzz, we're done. And I do hate, maybe this is stupid. How do you guys feel about the ending?
Not my favorite part of the movie, I'll say that.
Like, and I'm talking like the end. Like when the fucking cuts to black.
Remind me, because I watched this before I went to Hawaii, so it's been like 11 days. So I'm fuzzy.
It's when she's on the phone with the doctor about the baby, and
Oh,
she's like, "Do you want to know?" And then she's like, says something, and then it just cuts
yeah.
to black. I'm like, "The fuck? Like, why?"
Because they knew they were making a sequel, maybe?
I mean, maybe it's the same group that made it, but it just doesn't. But there's no payoff to it. It's not like clear and
Yeah.
present danger cuts to her going, "It's a boy." Like,
Yeah.
you know
Because
what I
it's
mean?
also not about that. It's like,
Yeah.
we didn't watch it to get a gender reveal.
It's just a weird way to end this very intense fucking movie. I'm like, what is going on right now? Anyway,
They wanted to show that the family continued on after a tragedy. But no, now thinking back to that, I remember just being like, okay, well, maybe it was non-binary.
yeah. Maybe it was twins. It's funny. Yeah, it just bothered me. I was like, what the fuck? I don't think I ever watched it all. Like, as a young man, I was like, okay, they're done. I'm gonna move
They
on.
probably
now.
could have just finished that same night, like them hugging as a family, and just
Yeah.
wrapped it up. Because whatever that end scene, yeah, it didn't. There's
It's
just
no
another
value add.
couple minutes of like we could have just ended this slowly paced movie.
Yeah. It's interesting. All right, should we rate it?
Let's do it.
All right. My movie, I go first. I'm gonna give it a 3.5. Look, I thought this was a much higher rated movie. When I picked it, I was like, my memory was obviously not, it was foggy. But rewatching this, like, it doesn't hold up as well as I thought. What does hold up is Harrison Ford, Sean Bean. The characters, the acting is very good. The story is amazing. That's why these books are famous. That's why Tom Clancy makes a living on royalties alone from the shit that people bought his books to make stuff, because the stories are amazing. And this movie's no different. Harrison Ford just owns the scenes. He's great. The acting's great. It is a good story. It's tense in moments. You're like, oh shit, what's going to happen? But it also has that 90s feel of, well, we know that he's going to come out on top and everything's going to be okay. And, you know, that, but it's, yeah, at the same time, like the pacing was very weird to me this time. Like it just felt like they took a lot longer in areas that I was like, I don't remember there being this much analyzation and dialogue and like talking. So that was kind of a wake up call to me for this movie, but still very good. I still watch it. Probably not anytime, but I'd watch it. I'll watch it again. If nothing else than to watch Harrison Ford do what Harrison Ford does. And yeah, so 3.5 for me. I don't know when I'll watch it again, but I would definitely do it. Mattson.
Yeah. It's a tough one. I'm thinking to get a 3.5 as well. Obviously, we talked about the pacing, talked about my boy Harrison Ford kind of having some handcuffs. The subject matter is really interesting. I still think it's worth a watch. Maybe just don't watch the last 2 minutes. Stop once they're safe as a family. But when the action's going,
the first 120 either.
Yeah, when the action's going, this movie's really fun and entertaining. It's just some things in between. Will I watch this again? Honestly, I don't know if I will, because there's other movies around this that I'd get to see my boy do his thing in the way that I want him to, and I'll probably just rather watch those.
It's fair. All right, Alec, bring us home.
So not the biggest Harrison Ford fan is what I just heard. I'll be different. I'm gonna give it a 3. Kind of the same reasons. It's not necessarily something I grew up on. Love the books, the ones that I have read anyway. But it just feels like Jack Ryan as a whole. Like it's great that Tom Clancy, like JJ was saying, is living off the royalties, but there's so much more you could do with this character and these stories to really make it cool, that for me it feels like you gotta have a big kind of deal where it's, hey, we're doing 4, 5, 6 movies long term, big studio to pick it up to really tell the whole story. Because what we have is just piecemeal, right? There's 5 or 6 movies, and then there's 4 or 5 actors that play Jack Ryan.
Yeah.
And then you have a TV show with a whole nother actor in there as well. So it's like you got to stick with it almost to really tell the story in a great way for Hollywood. And this this at least is kind of like the typical action star pump and dump, kind of make a lot of money, set up a sequel, make a whole lot more money, and then, move on to the next thing. So 3 for me. Watch it again? Probably not, but I won't say no to it if it's what everybody else wants to watch.
Yeah. Yeah. So you started with Alec Baldwin and then Harrison Ford twice.
Then you had someone
Ben
else.
Affleck.
Ben Affleck
was next.
Chris Pine.
Really?
Chris Pine.
Yeah. And then John Krasinski.
And then John Krasinski in the TV show. And like I said, the first season of Jack Ryan on Amazon with John Krasinski is some of my favorite television. Season 2 was okay. Season 3, I was like, but season 1 is outrageously good.
Question for the group: between James Bond and Jack Ryan, and we can throw Jason Bourne in there. Maybe there's one other. Maybe it's just those two, because Jack Ryan and James Bond to me have been the longest running, like, characters that have had multiple actors play them. I feel like if you did a poll to most people, they're going to say they prefer James Bond over Jack Ryan. It seems pretty like James Bond is far and away more popular, in my opinion, if I was to poll those people, but I don't know if you guys feel differently.
No, the man of the people has spoken. We agree with you.
I was about to make a joke earlier about him being the American James Bond, and it didn't work out. James Bond's much more interesting because James Bond is exactly what he should be, right? Like, he's the suave, debonair spy. Whereas Jack Ryan, he's an analyst. And in the books, it works because they write it from an analyst perspective. A guy that doesn't want to be out in the field. He doesn't want, he wants to just do smart shit in an office by himself, but gets pulled into these weird situations because he is so smart. And nobody's been able, to Alex's point, nobody's been able to figure it out yet. Not fully. There's been moments of shine, but you had the one with Chris Pine that was this isn't Jack Ryan. He was full on action star, no analyst whatsoever. I was like, that's not okay. But then you had Alec Baldwin, where it was you just
all analyst, and
I was like, what the fuck are we doing here? And so but I'm with you. I think James Bond is by far the better, depending on who plays him. But
you say that about those characters, but I just think overall, and I think if you even compare who played between those characters, there's been some really good James Bonds where I can't really think of any besides John Krasinski, who I haven't watched. Are you really watching any Jack Ryans just to watch him? Probably not.
Yeah, not so much. Clear and Present Danger I'd watch. It's a much more interesting movie, but it's also not analyze-y. It's more of a Harrison Ford piece, especially where he's at, because he's moving in. Anyway, I won't go there. We're talking about a very different movie. But there it is, Patriot Games. You're welcome for making you watch this lovely 1990s, early 90s film. Alec, tell everybody where they can find us.
Happy to. Well, that's the reason why we love you, JJ. Anyway, this was week 3 of Patriot Films, or films with a patriotic twist for the month of July. Special thanks to our patrons, Rich and CB, or Charles, can't remember what your name is, sorry, for getting online and getting the topic going and selecting movies to go with that topic. There's another little PSA. The voting is free. So join us on Patreon, hop in, you can vote on movies. The votes mean a lot to us because we're selecting movies, and we need the validation from strangers on the internet that our movies are good movies. So it's a back and forth of making sure that our movies get picked. So it's completely free to vote. Go on there. But if you do want more What's Our Verdict content, we have over 500 bonus episodes, clips, behind the scenes, goodies, where we're just shooting the breeze, chit-chatting, or making absolutely fun of each other. So it's a good time. Great if you guys want to come in and join the What's Our Verdict family. That's the best place to get involved with the content. Vote on movies, suggest movies. If you're going to be paying Patreon as well, highest tier, you get a quarterly movie that we will do that is whatever you want, with very liminal restrictions. JJ has a few movies he refuses to watch with me. With that, I will kick it back to the King of Crash, the Titan of Terror, a JJ.
Yes, sir. I don't know, Alec. There's a couple of horror movies coming out that I might be willing to trade for because there's some brutal ones coming out that I think would be right up the fuck with Alec alley. Like, there's some that I'm even like, ooh, do I really want to watch that? Like,
the answer to that question is always no. No, you don't.
It's always yes for me. So yeah, there it is. I don't know what we got to get a vote up for August soon, but with that, as always, we appreciate you tuning in. We'll catch you on the next one.
Bye.
Hasta la vista, baby.
Cinemagic out.
Whoa!